Today I'm going to talk about book review. The book review that we have chosen is The Phantom of the Opera. This book is written by Gaston Leroux. Type of fiction that we chosen is fiction with mystery and thriller story. This book have 112 pages and the year of publication is 1911. Why did we choose this book? The reason that we chosen this book is The Phantom of Opera was written by Gaston Leroux and certainly so mysterious thriller story. But with our knowledge that I and my partner had gone through about this book was about memories on 1986 musical and creepy moment along the story. We found out that this story is interesting and different than others because it was a battle of story for binded love and mysterious scenes. Gaston Leroux, the writer, had assembled this storybook with two separate fields of emotion for us that combined of musical and drama, which really was unexpected by all of the reader. This overall story was not about forbidden love and creepy scenes, even indicate that all the answer of overall stories came underneath of the musicals. Eric is the real phantom of the opera. He is the main character for this story. He was the only causes of all the mystery that happened in opera house. Eric is very fascinating for us because he is portrayed as very evil and obsessive, but he is kind of pity and we think in the last two chapters of the story. Eric seems so pity and it makes us to feel sorry for him. Eric was found out desperately for a love from a woman because for his late mother. Eric was found out desperately for a love from a woman because of his late mother was never take a good care of his heart. He undergoes a painful love at the end, and without revenge, he was understood by letting go is the only true love way does. Eric is a character that brings us go really fall for his storyline, which we can see that story never hide out of the Eric is really mad and very bizarre. Next, the summary of The Phantom of the Opera. There are rumors that the opera house is haunted by phantom who make himself known by sending letter to the manager and by causing disturbance. One, the retirement gala for the old opera managers, opera singer KRISHNAN, attract the attention of her childhood sweetheart, Raoul. One night during a performance of Founds with the resident prima donna, Carlotta, playing the female lead, the phantom causes Carlotta to lose her voice and the chattery to fall into the audience. Christine is kidnapped by masked phantom. He tells her his name is Eric and reveals her love for her. When Christine unmasks the phantom out of curiosity, his ugliness shocks her. The phantom decides to keep Christine in prison for the rest of her life. But then he allows her to leave after she promised to wear his ring and remain faithful to him. Christine later tells Raoul that she was kidnapped. Raoul promised to run away with her, both unaware that Eric has been listening to their conversation. During a production of Founds, Eric kidnapped Christine again and gave her an ultimatum: marry him or he will blow up the entire opera house. Christine refused, but then she finds out that Eric has kidnapped Raoul as well as Christine, Eric's old acquaintance, and he has trapped them inside a torture chamber. In order to save them as well as the occupants of the opera house, Christine agreed to marry Eric.
A very good morning to my fellow friends and my lecturers, Madam Alia and Madam Fatiha. My name is Gevitheara Kumar and my matter number is A21B3254. Today I am going to present on a book review of The Phantom of the Opera. part that we have chosen with my partner, and my part is a body, and the section was section C, what is the main theme of the story, and give example of the situation in the story suitable to the theme mentioned. So as we know, the main theme and the main character is Eric, who is the phantom, and we have chosen obsessive love as the main theme. We can see that the situation that appears where an obsessive love is shown, where the Eric himself gets jealousy on Christine Day and Rahul detach relationship. He goes cut off everything whenever they will meet, they together will meet. And second, we can see Eric kidnapped Christine Day for revealing his love. We can see from the sum of the chapter, Eric kidnapped the Christine Day just to reveal his love to her. It makes something obsessive love appear there, and something forced love appear there. And number 3, we can see that Eric kidnapped both of them, Rahul and Christine Day, which are both of lovers, just to make Christine worried on it. And we can see that Eric kidnapped Christine again to threaten to marry him. Eric bring the ring just to make him to agree to marry him. Or no, he will burn the whole opera house. So Christine have to agree with him, but she just managed to take the ring and give him a kiss on his forehead. And the last one that I figured out is Eric splits all of his obsession, of his love, to passion on Christine. We can see that on the last part, before Eric dies, we can see that Eric split everything, every love, every dramatic dialogue says like, she is only my love, she is only everything, she is my thing, she is my thing. So he come up with the dramatic dialogue on the last part when he was obsessive with Christine. He knew that he couldn't take Christine anymore. Then, but he was like fine with the sympathy that created by Christine. Next, we're going to D, section D. Describe briefly how the main character's personality has changed because of his or her experience in the stories. Okay, Eric, the Phantom of the Opera, the main character, is the main character. He made his first viewpoint on the threatened letters and obsessive love towards Christine Day. And we can see Eric played very hard role, very narrative role, very argumentative role in this story, where we all going to hate Eric, but at the end it's not like that. We will be sympathy on him. Then he began to see his love of his life being someone else's wife, which is to Rahul, and extremely bring himself in a very dangerous and evil age. And at one moment, at the last part, Eric understood that Christine was only sympathy on him, was only care on him, and only courageous on him, and not in love with him. He gave up his love peacefully and he died at the end. And the final part we can see is conclusion. Conclusion A, which is, would you like to recommend the book? Yes, I would like to recommend this book to everyone who's watching this. And this book will definitely bring the best in our magical imagination. The people who love fantastic things, they love to dramatic things, like to dreaming. So they all can just I will just recommend this book. This book is really designed in a vintage and aesthetic style, as it was published a long time ago. This book could bring us to create imagination, fantastic world where we can bring the feel to us again. We can feel the emotion played by these books, the stories, the fiction is overall amazing. So it's the best to who love horror, thrills, and also mystery, suspenses. People who loved it can take this book, and I really recommend you all to just read this book. And don't worry about the price is affordable, and we can get this everywhere because this book is a last time book, so we can get it everywhere. Okay, that's all. And the last section is a conclusion, section B. What have you learned from the story? Okay, this is known as like what I have learned, what my partner have learned, what you could have learned from this story of the Phantom of the Opera. Okay, we can see that we learned that the nature of love between two people cannot be forced. As we see, Eric is forcing Christine Day, which is one of the opera singer, force her to love him, force her to take the ring. And this is called that, but we can see that we cannot force people. Natural of love should happen automatically, not just being by force. Okay, next we can go to the nobility of sacrifices of Christine Day for Rahul and Eric for his love. Okay, we can see that nobility of sacrifices made by Eric also and made by Christine also. We can see that Christine made every time the sacrifices when she knew that Eric is really in hard situation, really in a broken, because he was forbidden of love from his own mother. So she knew everything. So that's why Christine really cared on Eric. She really sympathy on him. So when it comes to the Rahul, we can see that Christine is really undergoes anything to save Rahul from Eric's kidnap. So that's what we get from the nobility of sacrifices. Then what I have learned and what I and my partner have learned is don't judge the book by its cover, which means we can't judge a person by how their appearance, how their face, how their physical looks, how their mental looks. We cannot just judge people like that. So it goes to Eric, how the drama people, how the cops did ballet people, how the girls all mention him. So thank you.